Welcome to the Eric Brady podcast, Series 1, Adolf Hitler, His Bombers and Me. Episode 19, Aftermath of the Bombing. Eric, your father went to the school and you'd already been taken to hospital. He was waiting for news of Kitty, but identification was a problem.
Sometimes when the children were not wearing what we boys call dog tags, like soldiers with our name and address on, the girls often didn't like wearing those because they were not nice necklaces. So he went to the mortuary and tentatively identified this girl. My father then asked my mother, was Kitty wearing the dog tag? And my mother said yes, she had been, because my mother, always insisted on that. And then my father said, oh, in that case, I've identified the wrong girl. And he went straight out back to the hospital. And when he got there, he solved the problem for the hospital, because Kitty had been brought in, had died, and she was wearing the dog tag. And so my father said, well, obviously that other girl was not Kitty.
And you were in hospital, severely injured, not knowing what had happened.
My mother came in to see me every day and would try chatting to me. We had a WVS lady allocated to us, a Mrs. Cripps, and she was really wonderful in all that she did for the family and the support that she gave to my mother at the time and for months afterwards. And I kept on asking for Kitty because I had a vague memory of her in the school. I remembered clearly she was in the school, but couldn't remember anything else because of my head injury. It had been first thought that I could have been severely brain damaged by that lump. And when my mother came in to see me, I would ask about Kitty. And my mother made all sorts of excuses why she couldn't come to see me. She was going to a different school and it was a school day. And then that children of her age weren't allowed into the ward because people were so ill. And I kept on. This went on day after day. And finally my mother could take it no more. And she went in to see the sister at the ward. And I remember that at the end of the ward, I was about 3 beds along. At the end of the ward, there's a big window that looked into the sister's room, and of course from which she could look right up the ward. And I could see my mother talking to her. And then eventually my mother came out. And I remember that 2 doctors came and started talking to the patients opposite on the other side of the ward. And then a nurse came in with an oxygen cylinder and stood by the door. A sister came and stood by the bed beside me. And then my mother told me that Kitty was dead. I was told by my mother that Kitty was found a few yards away from me and she was dead. Subsequently, when I was talking to my young brother about this, he said that mother had told him that in fact Kitty was found on covering my right side, protecting me. So the right side is okay. It's the left side that is injured. And also subsequently, when I came home from hospital, I asked my mother exactly what had happened, and she told me things that I'm telling you now. And she gave me the newspapers that they collected at the time. I've still got them. And Kitty is listed as one of those that died in the hospital. And so I queried my mother. She had said that Kitty had died instantly in the school to me, and yet the newspaper was saying Kitty had died in the hospital. And my mother quickly said, oh, well, she was knocked completely unconscious in the school, so it was as though she had died in the school, when the reality was that she died in the hospital, but she was dead anyway. My mother had a really terrible time, because though no one blamed her, she blamed herself for keeping Kitty there and for bringing me back. And yet she wasn't to blame. And in the one talk, she asked me, did I blame her? I said, no, of course not, Mum, because you couldn't know that the bombing would restart. You couldn't know that the Germans were actually going to bomb the school. And you couldn't know that it would actually hit and it would happen to us. So you couldn't know. So you did the best you knew. Maybe that helped her, but she never forgave herself.
To buy your copy of Adolf Hitler, His Bombers and Me to read alongside the series, go to ericbradybooks.co.uk. The Eric Brady podcast can be found on YouTube, podcast services, and at ericbrady.blogspot.com.